This is Super Yacht News with E. Sisman.
Hi, welcome back to the channel. So Italian divers have recovered equipment from the sunken yacht Bayesian, which could help to determine what happened to the yacht on the 19th of August when she sank off the coast of Sicily. Divers are from the Italian version of the Special Boat Service, which is British Special Forces, and they're trained to, for instance, rescue trapped submariners from sunken submarines, so they have unique skills in this area. Now, some of the items recovered, according to Reuters, are video surveillance equipment, including computer materials, hard drives, and various other equipment, the source said. The electronics will be sent to the specialized lab to check their condition for the possibility of data recovery. Now, the Coast Guard official in Palermo said that divers were using hyperbaric chambers that allow them to make repeated dives of up to 40 minutes on the wreck, which lies approximately 50 meters down. Coast Guard also took underwater images with a ROV, a remotely operated vehicle, that will help them to draw up a plan for salvage. It will no doubt also give them some pointers to possible condition of the yacht in terms of what doors may or may not have been open as she lies on the seabed. So what kind of equipment may they have recovered? Well, as we said in one of the earlier videos, we said before they'd announced it that there would be no VDR on board this vessel because she's not big enough to require one by class. The VDR is a voyage data recorder, or black box as it's commonly known. Why don't they have one? Because it's not required on a vessel under 3,000 gross tons. This yacht was actually under 500 gross tons. Unless it's a passenger vessel, commercial passenger vessel, then it's not required. Now, items recovered most likely will be hard drives from the CCTV system that they most certainly would have had on board. In fact, we have a photograph here from one of the sister vessels of the Bayesian, and you can see there are two CCTV cameras on the mast. Now, there possibly would have been other cameras located, maybe one in the engine room, maybe one on that port side shell door. This is a common thing for safety, so you can actually physically look on the camera on the bridge and see that if the door's open or if there's water coming in or something. Other things recovered, probably PMS computer hard drives from the bridge and the engine room. This is taking information from the engines and all of the systems on board constantly. It creates a log on board that hard drive. They probably got those hard drives as well, and they'll be seeing that they can recover any of that data. Now, staying with the Bayesian Yacht, one of our subscribers kindly sent us a link to a video posted on the Italian Sea Group YouTube channel. The CEO of the Italian Sea Group, Giovanni Constantino, was on Italian television. We believe it was aired on the 10th of September. He was interviewed on a very popular show. It's called Porta e Porta, or Porta a Porta. Sorry, it's Italian, not Spanish. It stands for door to door. And this was the video that they posted on the Italian Sea Group website. And we'll post a link to the video below. It's a very interesting and slightly strange video, but it's about 40 minutes long, and it's in Italian, of course, but it does have English subtitles. Now, the TV show is, they interviewed, along with Mr. Constantino, the head of the Italian Coast Guard in Sicily, the man who led the diving team on the Bayesian yacht, who recovered the bodies, and the captain of the Sir Robert Baden-Powell yacht, who helped the survivors after they boarded into their life raft. It was a bit strange, like I said. The video, they sent reporters to the home of the captain in Spain, in Mallorca, in Spain, where he lives. They tried to question him as he was going into his house. Obviously, he said he didn't want to speak. And they also pointed out that the engineer who was working on board, the engineer officer, as they called him, he lives in the same street in Mallorca. And they said that was strange. I mean, unusual, yes, maybe, because generally people come from different parts of the world, both being British, and they're both living in Spain. But it's not necessarily strange. It could be that they knew each other. It could be that he found out there was a guy living in the street, an engineer, and said, "Oh, do you want to come and work on the yacht I work for?" It's not necessarily strange. Anyway, Mr. Constantino is still maintaining his series of events of the sinking, still suggesting the yacht was unsinkable, which sounds ridiculous, knowing that the yacht is currently laying on the seabed. He also maintains that during the last moments of the vessel, the yacht turned to port before sinking, and he even brought his own custom-made or custom-designed graphics to show the last movements of the yacht in those final moments, which is taken from the AIS. And sometimes, somehow, the show obliged this theory with some fancy graphics showing the yacht turning. But the graphics were actually misrepresenting what happened in those final moments, because it shows both yachts side by side at the beginning, and then it shows the distance the Bayesian traveled, probably whilst dragging her anchor or losing her anchor. However, the graphic shows the Baden-Powell in the same position. Also, it shows it on the starboard side of the Bayesian, which it never was. And they make it look like one boat moved and the other boat didn't, which is, I don't think that was their intention, but that's how it looks, which is a bit weird. Now, if you watched our channel regularly, you'll know that we've already proved that the data, the portrayed movement of the yacht in the final moments on AIS is incorrect. And that's because of a flaw, if you like, in the way AIS interpreted the data because of missing inputs from the feed sent by the Bayesian Yacht. Now, he still maintains that the portside shell door was left open by the crew. And now we don't have the answer to that question, right? Until they dive on the wreck and check the doors, whether it's closed and dogged. The graphic shown here is from the Italian Sea Group, supplied to the TV show to be used, and clearly shows the shell door on the port side. You can see that shell door. It's the only opening in the hull. The other stern platform is not an opening. It's just stairs leading to a platform, which is kind of unusual. Usually there's a tender garage door there or something like that, but there isn't on this boat. It's possible that that door was open, the port side shell door, but we don't know yet. Now, according to the captain, the door was not open. Captain Kirsten, the captain of the Baden-Powell, said that the crew told him the door was closed. Not quite sure why that came up in conversation. And those interviewed by the authorities also said that the door was closed. And the crew maintained that that door was always closed unless it was a flat calm because of the possibilities of water ingress if they open when there's any weather. Now, we also noted that the former captain, who made a statement about the incident about a week after it happened, he said that that shell door was always secured and only opened when necessary, because that door sat 100 millimeters lower into the water than the other vessels in the series. This is according to the former captain, like I said. And this is because when the vessel was constructed, the hull was identical to the previous vessels built by Perini Navi. But this yacht was different in that it had that one giant aluminium mast, whereas the other vessels had a double mast which weighed less. Now, the extra weight of that mast meant that the vessel was sitting lower in the water, and also because they would have had to add ballast to the keel to counter for that massive mast as well. Now, Mr. Giovanni says in the interview that he believes that there was a hatch or shell door left open, saying water got in somewhere. Well, clearly water got in somewhere. However, the elephant in the room, at least for this interview, was the massive weather event, which was not predicted, which they also say in this interview, which they have the Italian authorities on in the interview saying that the weather, the storm was predicted, but it was not predicted to be as violent as it was. Now, one of the design aspects of this yacht, it had these two sunken lounges, one in the aft, which we've talked about, but the forward one, which we haven't really mentioned, had a canvas roof. And so that if a downburst hit that yacht with thousands of liters of water potentially in that downburst, could have easily destroyed the canvas top and filled that lounge with water. It doesn't take much to make a vessel unstable. And very, very often when there's a fire on board a vessel, the thing that sinks it is the water that they fire onto it or they pump onto it to try to put out the fire. It only takes a few centimeters of water to make a vessel unstable. The reality is, so far, there's no evidence to suggest that any of the hatches or doors were left open. And there's no evidence to say that they weren't left open. We just have to wait for the investigators. All right, we'll move on to the next story. You might remember this from back in July. We covered the story of another Perini Navi having a bad experience. This one not fatal, though. The 46.5 meter or 150 foot sailing yacht Tamarita ran aground near the Greek island of Paxos after running into a coral reef. The yacht started to take on water, and they used a number of bilge pumps to pump that water off until recovery crafts could get on scene. Now, we covered this from start to finish, and the vessel was eventually lifted off the reef by cranes and removed to a shipyard. Well, the reason why we're bringing it up is because you can probably see on screen, we've got some video footage of that recovered yacht now on the hard in the shipyard waiting for repairs. You can see a lot of damage to the forward end of the hull. There's a couple of things in the way, so you don't have a clear view, but we can see plenty of it. The rest of the hull looks to be undamaged, at least from the footage that was sent in, and the person wants to remain anonymous. But that's all we've got anyway. But it shows you that the vessel has been recovered and waiting to have those repairs. All right, it's time for Friday Yacht Spot. We didn't do one last week because we didn't do a Friday video, but we're going to make up for it, hopefully, with an extended one here. I'm going to play you out also with some great drone footage, which is of a super yacht in a bay, which is really nice, so look out for that. Now, first video here we've got is the 2-year running channel Super Yacht of the Year winner, Motor Yacht Nord, here leaving Dubai. This footage was taken in December 2023. We covered the vessel's visit to Dubai at the time. The yacht has spent the years since Russia invaded Ukraine avoiding sanctions by mostly moving around with the AIS switched off, only switching on when absolutely necessary, such as in Dubai or sailing through the Malacca Straits near Singapore. Video footage sent in by Jason Charbonneau. So thanks very much, Jason, for sending that in. Next video, we've got here Motor Yacht Magambo, seen here sailing through San Francisco Bay on September the 6th. Now, Magambo is owned by one of the founders and former CEO of WhatsApp, and it now owns the app Signal, and his name is Jan Koum, I believe. Magambo is a 73-meter or 241-foot yacht built by Nobis Krug in 2012 at a cost of approximately $75 million. Now, the yacht is usually flagged by her wingman and support vessel, Motor Yacht Power Play, but we don't see her in this video. All right, next we've got a triple header here sent in by the same person. We've got Motor Yacht Phoenix 2. This footage was taken in Monaco, as well as the two that are going to come up after it, by Nathan Marks. The next yacht is believed to be Michael Jordan's yacht, and it's named Embrace. And then on the final yacht we have taken by Nathan is Motor Yacht M. Like I said, all 3 yachts were filmed in Monaco on the 10th of September. Next video here we've got is a relatively new yacht, Obsidian, built by Fedship and launched last year. We believe the video was sent by Rashid Aldosari. I'm sorry if I got that wrong. And the footage was taken in Olbia Marina in Sardinia. And we got a few quick fire photos now. The first one is Motor Yacht Metaverse, formerly Andromeda and formerly Ulysses. You can also see Motor Yacht Viva here before she crashed into that bridge in Fort Lauderdale. Both vessels passing through the Pedro Miguel Gates in Panama Canal, heading from the Pacific into the Caribbean. Thanks to Gabby Abadi, who sent in those photos. Not the first time she's contributed to the channel, so thanks very much. Now, next on the list here, we've got the massive sailing yacht Maltese Falcon. This is the 88-meter or 288-foot sailing yacht built by Perini Navi again. That is in Malta, in Valletta in Malta. Now, next on the list is Liva O. This is a yacht featured numerous times, and it was the channel favorite for what we voted the 2023 Super Yacht of the Year. The Nord was voted by the people. This was sent in by Steve Strauss and was taken in Ketchikan in Alaska. He didn't know the name of the yacht, but he sent them in anyway. So it is Liva O. And lastly, we have Motor Yacht Lunacy in Early Beach, A-I-R-L-I-E. I'm not sure how you pronounce that in Queensland in Australia. Don't forget to check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/esysman. You'll find lots of behind the scenes videos, patron chat series videos, which we look at a lot about what's happening with the channel, and lots of other things, including the Bayesian Yacht story. And these videos never make it to YouTube. We have a lot of stuff going out there, and we have multiple videos per week, and you can find it at patreon.com/esysman. As always, if you've got any information for us, send it to us in the email address in the ticker. You can get us on the About page of the YouTube channel. You can get us on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook Messenger, and on Threema. Be sure to like this video, very important for the algorithm. Hit the subscribe button and hit the bell for future notifications. All right, we're going to play you out as promised with a Motor Yacht Savannah. This was taken by Eric Gibson, and he told us the location is Reen in Norway. I probably got that pronunciation wrong, and it was on August the 22nd, and he says that this location is part of the Lofton island chain. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch up with you next week. Happy Friday. I hope you have a great weekend. If you're working, it sucks, but I still hope you have a great weekend. All right, bye-bye.